There we go. Welcome everybody to our weekly webinar. My name is Evan. I'm from Hikvision. Glad to have you guys here. Please, if there's any questions, stay behind for the Q&A afterwards. I'll try my very best to answer as much questions as I can. We've got quite a bit to showcase today. Yes, it's solar power, but it's not just solar power, it's also backup power. So we have some UPSs. I would like to show you guys a little bit in that. So yeah, let's get into it. Awesome. It's a Friday. It's cool. So yeah, let's get going. Let me just move this a little bit closer. Okay. So solar power security cameras. We've done quite a few of these on our YouTube channel as well. It is uploaded there in the past. So we're going to obviously introduce some of the new features, but we're going to go over the basics. So to get started, and my little USB stick doesn't want to work. So my apologies. Let me try and see if I can get that working. And now it doesn't want to. There we go. Let's try now. Nope, still not. That's fun. Okay, so I'm going to have to manually do this again. I don't know if it's the battery on this or the light is coming on though. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, moving on then. So that doesn't work. Let's go to the next one. All right, so we're going to obviously first look at what is a solar power camera. So we're going to get into that. And now my slides are not going through. There we go. All right, so I'm sure you all know when it comes to installations of CCTV cameras, it's kind of difficult. It makes life difficult. So yeah, you know, where you don't have any cables or electricity, or you can't run any cables, it makes it kind of a problem. And I'm sure you all know that we have an energy issue in our country. It's called load shedding. And I bet you while I'm busy presenting, maybe the power is going to go out. I don't know. I didn't check the load sharing schedule, but if you're watching this in the past, future, something like that, whichever way, back and forth. Yeah, if you're watching it later on now. But anyway, we have a problem in South Africa regarding our electricity. So yeah, getting started off obviously with how the working mode of this is. You have a solar power, little solar panel on the top. You have a bracket. Behind all of that, there's a backup battery, and then you have the camera. This allows us to use this kind of technology functionality together as a kit, so making life a little bit easier. So wherever there's no power or no proper connection, we can use 4G or maybe a nano station, and we'll get into that shortly, a wireless bridge. Easy installation. Some of you have seen that in the past. So even if there's bad weather area or maybe high temperature or cold temperature areas, you have that capability of also having that features. Before we get into what it is, just to show you that we've got quite a few different products, from our baseline to our standard line to our advanced series and what is to come forward. So yes, as you can see, we have a very focal bullet that is very soon to be launched as well in this month. And we also have an ANPR model. Yes, we do. We have an ANPR model as well. So for the standard series, we have a PT model. For this specific model, it's nice, user-friendly, easy. And then we have our normal basic baseline model, which has a built-in PIR with a solar panel. It's a small little kit, easy to use. And then later on, you'll see that a lot of people are starting to focus on the solar kit itself. It's just the panel, it's just the battery, and just the bracket. So whatever you want to add to it, you can add to it, and we'll get into that just now. We also have additional batteries that will be able to add onto that or swap out in future. So just to break it down, you have the panel itself, as you can see in the picture. Behind it, you have a battery box, you have the bracket, you have the camera, and underneath the camera is where the SIM slot and everything else has been in setup. So getting through that for the panel makes it a bit easier, especially when it comes to the goods as a complete kit. So it's easy to transport, easy to set up and install, low cost as well involved with that. So sure, all of you are familiar with the standard way of how things are going. So with the wattage of these models, some of them have 2 watts or just above 2 watts. And we'll get into that. For the normal camera itself has just 2 watts compared to your conventional cameras. So that's why we focus on this, where you don't have to put the cameras up. You don't have to put up additional equipment or switches or whatever the case might be. This is just ideal. So for those backup batteries, there are different models. There are different ways that we can use them if you are using IR or IR off. So some of them have built in, some of them don't. At the back of them, the battery slides in, so which is easier for transport and stuff like that. So making it safe, because they are lithium-ion batteries, and as you can see what their uptime is compared to a different Uncle D product compared to ours. We are way more efficient when it comes to our power and long usage. All right. So next up is regarding the quality of those cameras and the type of cameras that we have on that. It's color view with AccuSense. So good quality image, smart features. Let's have a look how that looks like. Okay, so Farmer Joe is there, and Farmer Joe is using the cameras to look after his plants. Sorry, I don't know. I wasn't prepared for that one, but that is pretty funny. It doesn't make any sense to me, but yeah, it smells good. Okay, let's move on from there. My apologies, these things do happen. I'm not, yeah, okay. Anyway, getting further with that, obviously you can use the Hik Connect app, the Hik Pro Connect, but the Pro Connect has changed to the Hik Partner Pro, so that slide will be changing in future. You can connect it to your Hik Central account as well. Some of these models have built-in storage, or you can add storage itself, or you can add these devices to your NVR remotely. So yes, keep that in mind. So under Hik Central, very easy, very straightforward. You can do health monitoring for these, get that report of the data, the battery, the weekly, the monthly, the daily report, whatever your company needs or whatever report that you need. So that was pretty funny. And then just a breakdown on the certain models. So this is the advanced series. It's got an 80-watt panel on top of it. It's got a 4 megapixel or 8 megapixel, depends on which option that you're going for. It's got color view, AccuSense built into it, as well as the motion detection. We'll get into that. A very big battery that's built into that. 2 batteries actually that slides in, that clips in. You have all the normal features of SIM card, and obviously different environments where you can install them. For the standard model itself, it has no AccuSense feature in it itself. It is a 4 megapixel at 15 frames per second with a 40-watt panel on top of it. It's got a 90-watt-hour batteries that slides into it. It all depends on your option, but all the normal features. So for some of you that are familiar with this, when it comes to the solar kits, you would maybe look at these type of solar kits where it might be beneficiary towards your company. So I've added a bit of pictures in this slide, but for me personally, this is just a solar panel, battery, a bracket, done. So if you want to add in your alarm system, where's my little mouse? Let's just find the mouse. There we go. If you want to add an alarm system, maybe in a separate box, so you can have outdoor detectors in that environment, you can do so. You have the capability. So use the AX Pro alarm panel, use your siren to communicate, whatever the case is. So very nice 80-watt panel. Maybe for whatever reason you have a certain parking lot area or wherever it is, and there's no Wi-Fi. You could have maybe a nano station with a Wi-Fi or whatever the case is, or maybe just a wireless bridge. So yes, for our advanced series, our standard series, you cannot connect up your own wireless bridge. It's designed for a SIM connection. But in the event that you are in a remote area where you can't use a SIM card, you can maybe take one of these solar panels, so you can have them maybe next to one another or above one another, whatever the case is, one for the camera, one for the nano station, for the wireless bridge, outdoor wireless bridge to communicate. So keep that in mind. Pretty cool feature as well. I just want to try and find my mouse now again. There we go. And then, yes, so for the very focal bullet models itself, it's 4G as well. So you can put in that SIM card or connect it to an NVR. It's got its own built-in storage. You have two different options that you can choose from. Either a 256 gig storage or 1 terabyte storage. So it all depends on you. That's built into the device. So makes it a bit easier. Some of them have that, you don't want that white light itself. It's got IR built into it. So for that long range itself, it's also easy to get to the units because of the built-in Wi-Fi for underneath that area of that camera for maintenance and services. And there are different models in field of view for that very focal. So keep that in mind. And obviously it's designed for outdoor use. All right. And no, it's not going to the next slide. There we go. So not just that, we have the ANPR model as well coming out now. So keep that in mind. You can have that blacklist, whitelist, and you can use ICEP5 to communicate through the SIM card for data if you might need to connect it to one of the ANPR software companies that are out there to look after the camera and also to look after, you know, any registrations that come past that it gets flagged. So very nice way of looking at it. Then in the real life scenario, we have 3 different modes on these cameras. One is performance, the professional high performance mode. Then we have the proactive mode and the standard mode itself. So it all depends on what your schedule is. So in the high performance mode, it's continuous, using that AccuSense, using that motion as an analytic. Then we have our proactive, where it still keeps it, but the storage itself, the data is smart. So only when it's necessary to send it through, it will send it through. And then we have the standby. Standby is once there is activity, it will send it and it will go back into that sleep mode itself. So making it a bit easier. Just to showcase how that performance mode is, this is an active mode. So as you can see the battery on the right-hand side, you can see the date and time at nighttime, so which is pretty cool. Okay, we're not going to re-show that. I'm not going to show that again. Pretty cool batteries on the right-hand side. Also for the proactive mode, like I mentioned, it will send it through. It will capture, store it, but only if it's necessary, whatever you have set up. So for that environment, pretty cool. Yeah. A very nice setup, and we're not going to go through that again. For the standby mode, as long as there's some sort of event, it will send it through, go back into sleep, done and dusted. Very easy. So if you wanted to look at the chart regarding the battery life and the activity, let's use an example. I'm trying to see on my side. Yeah, let's go with standard mode or yeah, standby mode itself. So you've got for the advanced series up to 80 days of activity that you can send through, which is pretty cool. Moving on from there, just to showcase that batteries itself, where they will slide in behind the panel. Some of you might be familiar with how it was in the past and how it is now. I went too quick there. So you'll be able to see, where is that slide? There we go. So you'll be able to see that used to be the old ones, the old brackets. The newer ones have changed. The battery just slide in and making it a bit easier for you to use. All right. So just to showcase, there are different options for either the normal cameras or through the 2T model. So with those models itself, that is for our thermography side of things, and I'm going to show you guys how that looks like. So yes, we have for the bispectrum thermography thermal models available as well. Just to showcase that, how that looks like. You also have the battery, the box, everything, the network communication, the way that we can install the SIM card, very rugged brackets as well, so easy with a junction box, so making your life easier. So just to showcase, you'll see on the picture on the left-hand side for that biometrics, for that bispectrum, it is there, so you can use that security purposes. For that, you have 77 meters on VCA, detecting human or vehicle, having that strobe light alert as well, different temperature, and it's not just for security use, we can use it for other uses as well, but just to show you the differences between that. So my pictures are not the best quality because I have to shrink the quality of my images because of the PPT, and we don't want it to get stuck. Just to showcase the VCA function, you'll see on the right-hand side, it's 3 easy steps compared to what it used to be for the VCA. Much easier to set up compared to what it was in the past. So just to showcase how quickly that is, 3 easy steps. So we're on step number 2. Then step number 3, we want to draw our lines because the camera needs to know where exactly it needs to focus on. And then once we set up where our lines and area is, as you can see in the picture on the right-hand side, we save it, and then we are done. So now we are still busy with the old VCA 1.0 compared to 2.0. Big difference. I'm not going to showcase all of it. So maybe we can go moments later. No, I'm joking. We can go make a cup of coffee. Okay, we're not going to show all that and how long that takes. So it's still busy. Anyway, let's move on. I'm sure you guys understand. Right, it can also be for fire prevention, so which is pretty cool as a standalone camera. So if you have a specific area that you would like to concentrate on. The batteries itself, there are different models, different settings. So for that kind of features, whether it's VCA or temperature, keep that in mind. So pretty cool. Okay. Just to show you guys how that would be as the camera would look at a specific area during the nighttime. Please look at where the battery's percentage is. Sorry, look at the time at night. Pretty awesome, pretty cool. And it's a nice little feature, especially from a security point of view. Okay. Just wait for that one to go through. I would like you guys to look at the battery. Okay, until the next morning. And then obviously the next day, it will carry on charging up. There we go. Almost there. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, 78. There we go. So obviously the sun comes out and it will carry on charging. View. So load shedding has just kicked in. My apologies. Let me just quickly fix this. These things do happen while we are streaming live. Okay. Yeah. Come on. Almost there. Sorry, guys. There we go. And then we just want to share our page. Here we go, sorted. Let me just double check. Yeah, okay. So my apologies for that. Obviously, you all know how load shedding works, but we're trying to get this out by you guys. Okay, so we've seen that. Just to show you another video, I know the quality is not the best. This was done from a mobile phone and then sent by WhatsApp and then sent back and then uploaded and then compressed. Just to show you from a point of view, this is in South Africa, one of the companies that I've dealt with. They did a setup, pretty cool. They were excited about it. I'm excited about it. And this is pretty, so yeah. Okay. Then for that itself, like I said, 80-watt panel that's on there. So easy for it to charge with sunlight, takes about 6 hours. Again, like I mentioned earlier, the cameras are under 2 watts. For this specific models itself is just under 3 watts itself. So, but still pretty good compared to any of the Heat Pro cameras that are out there. So for that scheduling, you can schedule also it to be in sleep. So if you don't want to send any messages or you don't want to get any alerts, very basic. And please, if you want more information about this, not much has changed. There are other videos that we've uploaded on our YouTube channel for our Heat League. That will be under YouTube called Hikvision South Africa. So please have a look at that channel there and you'll find the videos on there. So under the UPSs, yes, we have UPSs. The material's not all ready, so what I could get together, I've put together. So HQ is busy with a new material video on that. So where we can use it, I don't think I need to explain where we need to use it. For CCTV, maybe for your Wi-Fi at home, or maybe just for your desktop computer, so while load shedding kicks in, so you don't get interrupted, which is pretty cool. So if you go with the 600 model, you'll see that it gives you up to 2.5 hours, so which is pretty cool. All right, so these are pretty new. There's still a lot more that we need information on. So very soon I'll get a PPT on that from HQ that is in China, and it will showcase that. So in a few courses before this, I showcased the eDBR and how we can use that to benefit us, so which is pretty cool idea. Normal socket plug there, universal socket plug. So that's for America, UK, Australia, and China, and South Africa. So all in one little plug point there, so you can plug your devices in, which is pretty cool. So like I mentioned, 2 different models at the moment, a 7 amp hour battery built in or a 9 amp hour battery built in, depends on which you are going for. So which is pretty cool. Right. So like I said, more coming soon regarding that. And we are looking at the entire energy situation in South Africa and what products that we have to offer to help regarding that situation. Okay. And then that's it from this one for me. If you have any questions, please stay behind for the Q&A. For those that are watching on YouTube, please follow us on YouTube, or also follow us on our e-learning platform. We have new courses available and we are showcasing them very soon. We got some extra things, but I'll share that with the next video on next Friday. So thank you very much. I am stopping the recording here and see the rest of you next week. Thank you. Keep well.